he would smack her with the belt, and the moment she would scream, he would take her and shove her into the water. I remember it hitting so hard one time you could hear it and crack on the floor.
On the morning of October 29th, 2007, a fisherman from Galveston, Texas, discovered a container box, unaware of the horrors that were about to unfold. Inside were the badly decomposed remains of a 2-year-old girl. Because the body was unrecognizable, investigators gave her the nickname Baby Grace.
They don't know Riley is Baby Grace.
All right. Talk to me about that, please.
As Riley's parents came forward to share their accounts, each of their bone-chilling revelations left detectives grappling with one haunting question. What could have driven this couple to commit such unspeakable acts against a helpless 2-year-old?
You didn't know that baby was dead in that storeroom for 2 months?
No, I did not. I swear to God.
Kimberly had been in a relationship with Robert Thomas Sawyers, and at the age of 15, she became pregnant with their child, Riley Ann Sawyers. The couple lived with Robert's mother, Shirley, in Mentor, Ohio. Over time, their relationship began to deteriorate, yet they continued to live together. In 2006, Robert accused Kimberly of filed a domestic violence charge against her, leading him to move out of the home. While living with Robert, Kimberly was introduced to online gaming, where she met Royce Ziegler through the world of Warcraft. They gradually started dating, and after their first meeting, Kimberly decided to move in with Royce in Texas. In June 2007, they got married. However, they were unaware that their seemingly happy life would soon take a tragic turn. On October 29, 2007, after detectives made the harrowing discovery, they left no stone unturned in their search for the child's identity. The autopsy revealed that the body belonged to a young female, estimated to be between 2 to 5 years old. Lois Gibson, a forensic artist, was brought in to prepare a sketch estimating baby Grace's appearance, which was then released to the public. However, this turned out to be a turning point in this heartbreaking case. Cheryl, Riley's grandmother, recognized the sketch and reported to authorities that it resembled her granddaughter. This discovery gave detectives new hope in cracking the case. However, the biggest breakthrough was yet to come. On November 23, 2007, nearly 1 month after baby Grace was found, Kimberly arrived with her attorney to share some crucial details regarding the case. Now, Kimberly is about to share an unsettling tale. However, detectives have no idea this would turn out to be one of the most dreadful cases they have ever come across.
Riley had some discipline issues, which I knew.
Okay.
I knew before I even left Ohio, I knew about that. When I moved down here, I was just getting to the point where she would sleep by herself.
Okay.
She had always been spoiled when we were living at Cheryl's house.
Mm-hmm.
Riley would be sleeping with Cheryl, would be sleeping with me. She wouldn't sleep in her crib. She wouldn't sleep in her bed. She slept with someone. So I was just starting to get her to sleep by herself, and be okay with it, not come and wake up and all that. I also knew because of the situation in Ohio, all the tension, too many people around, that she had some listening issues. She
What kind of issues, babe?
like following orders.
Okay.
Listening to us.
All right.
Not really saying please and thank you kind of thing.
So, now I'm not trying to interrupt you, but are you saying that as a normal 2-year-old child, there was a little bit more of an issue than the terrible twos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did that frustrate Royce?
Yeah.
It did?
Mm-hmm.
Well then, let me just ask you this. Had you ever seen him spank her?
Yes. He really kind of tried to stay out of it at first.
Okay.
and say, hey, you're the mother, but look, you gotta do something. When we went to that realtor about the new house, that's when it really started with him. And I mean,
What really started with him?
we need to discipline Riley.
Okay.
Was she acting up when y'all were meeting with this person? Is that what this was about?
Yes.
Okay.
And he became, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but was he becoming short with her, frustrated?
Yes. He told me he even got a call from the guy at the real estate office saying, that 2-year-old was out of control.
Okay.
Running around, couldn't stay in one spot. Her mother couldn't do anything about it. And I mean, I was trying. She would run away. Why don't you come sit on my lap? Let me do your hair. She'd sit on my lap for a couple moments. Off she'd go.
Kimberly's revelations are quite hard to grasp. It's evident that the couple was unable to understand how to deal with a 2-year-old. Kids can sometimes drive their parents crazy, but they were incapable of coping with that reality. She claims she never supported Royce's method of discipline, yet she was also the one who never bothered to stop him. Until now, Kimberly's revelations have only scratched the surface. But what comes next exposes the final harrowing moments of baby Riley's life and the unimaginable pain she endured before her tragic end.
So that day, he stayed home from work. Originally started to be, I guess sit around and watch some TV. And Riley got into something, I'm not sure what. And he started with it.
With the belt?
Go get the belt. I think it was, she said, I want. No, you say, please can I have? You don't say I want. You need to be polite and say please. And then, it just escalated from there. We tried, he's telling her, you don't say I want or I need. You ask for it and you say please. And he was trying to, he said, we need to break her.
He used that term. Okay.
He said, we need to break her and make her do that. And he said, look how well it worked with how she goes and stands in the corner. I don't know how it escalated into anything she did if it wasn't what he wanted her to say. She got a belt whooping. She screamed. She got a belt whooping. She got her head shoved into a pillow on her bed. Or on the couch.
Face down?
Yeah. And then he started to...
Now this is all happening on the same day?
So he told me to go run some water in the bathtub. Some cold water in the bathtub. And I did, and he said, okay, the next time she screams, we're going to take her into the bathtub. And of course she's going to scream the way he was hitting her with that belt. I accidentally got in the way of it and it bruised me. Once or twice that day. He didn't stop with the belt at some point. It was wherever he could hit her. Her legs, her back, anywhere. And if she screamed, it was he picked her up, sometimes by her hair, take her into the bathroom. And he laid her in there He put her in there. And she started to scream. Or he had her stand up and wanted her to say a certain phrase, like, "Can I have some milk, please?" And if she didn't say it, he would smack her with the belt. And the moment she would scream, he would take her and shove her into the water.
Okay. You're doing fine. Okay?
And this would just go on and on. And I mean, he wanted me to do it. He wanted me to shove her head underwater. At some point, he stopped it. He stopped it so he could give her some Tylenol and put ice on her bruises and have her lay on the ice packs. And we didn't have enough ice packs, and we had some freezy pops that he laid down on a blanket on the floor to let her lay on. And so it stopped. And he said, "We're just gonna, I think we've done enough for today, and we're just going to take care of her now. And the ice will help with get her bruises down and the Tylenol," and he had some biofreeze to make her numb that he put on. And I thought it was over, but for some reason it started up again.
Did she start crying again?
I don't think so. I think
Was she conscious?
Yeah.
She was awake.
yeah, she was awake. And I mean, she was just trying to recover, and we had the ice on her, and we had given her the medicine. And I don't know, but he started it up again.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't understand why? You don't recall her crying or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
I don't remember why it started again.
Okay.
But this time, I think it was even worse on her. Because he went and he switched out belts. This one, he was using what wasn't thick enough. And he took a thick leather one.
He's now started using a thicker, okay.
A thicker belt. It started up again. And it was even harder because it was a different belt. It was thicker. It hurt more. And he just kept hitting her if she didn't say what he wanted her to say. At this point it was, "Mommy asked you a question, you answer her with yes ma'am or no ma'am. I ask you a question, you answer me yes sir or no sir." And all he wanted her to say was, "Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir." And he was screaming at her to say, "Yes sir." She didn't say yes sir. She was hit with a belt.
Where?
Anywhere on her body. She was standing up, and it did start. You go over to the couch, you bend over, and he does it. But now it was, she's standing up, it just, wherever skin is exposed.
Okay, do me a favor if you would. Put your purse down and show me exactly how he would swing this belt, please,
Okay.
if you can remember.
I know he was standing up. I think it was.
Okay, so she was on the couch and he would hit her anywhere on the body.
Well, if she was on the couch, she was leaning over the couch, and he would hit her on the bottoms of her legs. And sometimes it would hit. I mean, he had done it so much he was complaining that his shoulder was hurting.
He said that?
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, she was standing there in front of him, and if she didn't say yes, sir, when he told her to say yes, sir, he hit her. And then wherever it would land, on her arm, on her leg, anywhere, if she would scream, it would be back to the cold water.
How much water was in the tub?
It was filled a good halfway.
Halfway? Okay. And it was cold water?
Yeah, yeah.
Was she naked during this time? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I mean, and if she tried to run away, he would go and grab her and throw her across the room. I remember it hitting so hard one time you could hear it crack on the floor.
The detective's expressions clearly reveal how disturbed he is after listening to the unimaginable brutalities inflicted on Riley. However, their single mistake can bring everything crashing down, causing Kimberly to shut down entirely. And at this crucial moment, this is something they cannot afford. Oblivious to the fact that Kimberly has exposed all his evil secrets, when detectives bring Royce in to confront him with these bone-chilling details, he counters each accusation with his rehearsed account. However, he is clueless that the details he is about to share will become the very reason to turn the tables against him.
As Sergeant Burroughs alluded to a little while ago, we've been doing this a long time. Okay. And we have some problems here. And you need to understand that sometimes we're going to ask you questions that we already know the answers to.
All right.
Okay? And we're going to see what your response is to this. Now, several things have happened that people in your own family have recognized that are not normal. Your mother, your father, and your brother, along with others, as to some of your activities. Now, explain to me that if you are going to help her with this child custody thing to try to retrieve Riley, why would you remove every single thing in your residence that's remotely connected to that child and throw it away?
That would be something you need to ask him.
I'm not asking Kim. I'm asking you. That's your house.
I asked him to pack up the house and put what we need to put in storage. She did most of the work on packing up stuff while I was at work.
Okay. So you're saying that all the baby stuff is in storage somewhere then?
It's either in storage or you need to ask him because I don't know what happened to it.
Did you ever go to the storage?
I've went to storage once. No,
What'd you
I'm
put in
sorry, twice.
Now, we know that you watch CSI and all that stuff, but you're just not quite there yet, buddy.
I'm not.
You're not quite there yet.
Royce.
Now, do you want to try to work this out as best possible, or do you want to be looked at as some type of
Cold-blooded killer.
cold-blooded monster that don't give a damn what he did?
I've told you guys everything I've known.
No, we got a dead baby here. And I'm going to tell you right now, baby Riley is baby Grace. Read my lips. I know that, and you know that.
I don't know that.
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
you do.
No, I don't.
Royce.
Come
I
on,
swear
man.
to God, I do not know that.
We've already collected some evidence to clearly resolve this in a relatively quick fashion. Okay? And I'll tell you right now, no, Kimberly is not going home. Kimberly's going to jail. Okay? Now, you're not going to be far behind her. But how we handle this and what you're charged with is going to be up to you and how you want this to go. Let's talk about Riley. Riley had a discipline problem, did she not?
Yes.
She had a
I
discipline
wasn't
problem.
there that day.
What is that day? What is that day?
The day that, the 29th of July, I was not there. I swear to God, I could give you my timesheets. It would prove it.
That's because the 29th means nothing to us. The 24th, 29th was too late, wasn't it?
What day did you take off sick?
I took off sick like a Wednesday.
That's right. And you took off sick that day.
You're right.
That's right. And you stayed home that day.
And I was in bed the entire time.
It's not going to wash, buddy. We're going to be able to prove otherwise. What happened to that child on July 24th, the day you were off? What happened? Are you saying that Kimberly did it? Tell us about it. Remember what I told you at the beginning of this? We're just as responsible to hear your side of the story and collect it. Okay? If you're saying you didn't do it and she did it, then what happened? But somewhere down the pipe, on that day, that baby come out of that house dead. We know that. July 24th was the last day that child lived on this earth.
So you tell us how it happened.
So what happened?
I wasn't there. I swear to God.
Tell us what you know then.
What do you know happened? What do you say happened?
That morning, I wasn't feeling well. I didn't feel like putting up with crap. So I went out for a drive, and that's it.
And then?
I came home later on that evening. Kim needed me to go get some supplies.
Okay.
So, okay, I just said, make a list, and we'll go. And I said, okay, where's Riley? She goes, Riley's asleep. It's okay. We could be right back. It won't take us long. So we go to Walmart, take the list, and that's it.
That's not it.
I come home. Basically, I'm just fed up and tired. I gave her all her stuff, and I just crawled right into bed. Because I was sick and tired. I knew I had to go to work the next day. I didn't want to put up with any more. And that's it.
That's not it.
Yes, that is. I swear to God.
No. No.
You know it's not.
That's
it.
even worse than the first story.
Come on, man. What happened?
That's even worse than the first story you gave us.
What happened, brother?
Royce, you got
I don't know what happened. I swear to God.
Yes, you do, Royce.
Then
I was not there.
That baby was in your storage building for 2 months in that box?
I was not there. I do not know.
You didn't know that baby was dead in that storeroom for 2 months?
I did not know what the hell happened. I did not know anything was going on.
But
All
you
I
knew the baby
did
was in that storeroom dead.
No, I did not. I swear to God.
You know, you told me in the truck, coming down here, you told me in the truck that you were having a lot of problems, stomach problems, stress, so forth and so on. Do you realize why you're having all this stomach problems and all this stress?
I've been having stress for many, many months before.
That's exactly right. That's exactly, you've been having stress and stomach problems and stuff for many, many months. You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because you're keeping it right there. You're keeping it right there. You've got to let it out, son.
This is going to eat you alive.
It's going to eat you alive. You know what's going to happen next? If you don't tell somebody about it, you told me in the truck that the doctor almost prescribed you antidepressants. You know why? Because you're keeping it right there.
Are you Catholic?
Yes, sir.
You're keeping it right there. Do you believe in heaven?
Yes, sir.
You believe in hell?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe in God?
Do you believe in forgiveness?
Yes, sir.
You have to ask for forgiveness. You're holding it all in. You're keeping it all back. You're not getting any forgiveness until you let it out.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think we took your hair?
I don't know, DNA.
I'm gonna tell you why we got your hair. I'm gonna tell you why. You did, or y'all did. Y'all, not just you, y'all.
Yeah, it's not all you.
No, and I'll go with you on that. Y'all, you and her, did a pretty good job of trying to eliminate any and all evidence. But you just didn't quite get there. Okay? And the reason we got your hair, so we can match it to the one and the knot in the second bag. There's 3 bags. Okay? It's not her hair, and it's not Riley's hair. But it looks just like your hair. When it comes back from the lab, which it's going to, because I know that, and you know that, you're going to have a hard time explaining to anybody in the world, let me finish, how a hair off your head wound up in the knot of that bag which that child was buried in. And then when we start showing the Walmart tapes and the receipts from Walmart of all the other stuff that was bought, like the bleach.
When you did CPR on Riley, did you get any response at all?
I didn't do any CPR.
You didn't?
No.
How are we here?
I swear, I never did.
You swear a lot.
I think I'm gonna need a lawyer. I think I should talk to an attorney.
Okay, so you're saying you want a lawyer. You want to discontinue the interview? Is that what you want to do?
I think I need to speak to an attorney to see my legal rights.
Royce's facade falls apart as he realized that his sinister secrets are no longer his own. Though he refuses to speak further, his story is far from over. Soon, he will find himself back in the interrogation room, sharing harrowing details that will ultimately give this plot a twisted conclusion. Despite Royce's efforts to disassociate himself from the crime, Kimberly's revelations contradict each of his claims, pointing all fingers back at him. Her upcoming testimony will not only be disturbing, but will also reveal the final heartbreaking words from Riley that still couldn't help her escape their cruelty.
You could hear. Okay, explain that again now. You would do what?
We have all tile floors, and the one time you could hear her smack on the floor.
When he would throw her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember at some point he did bite her.
He bit her? You remember where?
I think it was on her right hand.
Okay.
I mean, this grabbing her with the belt around the neck, that was just the worst. Because you could see how much she just didn't know what he wanted. There was a point where during this she said, "I love you," and it stopped for a brief moment.
She said that to who?
She had said that to me. I think she had said that to him. But the next time it happened, he said, "She's trying to trick you.
She tried what, babe?
She's trying to trick me." Because at some point I was, using the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And, he said, you can't let her say that and let her control you and make you stop. He said, she's trying to trick you.
Okay, and when you said she tried to trick you, is that your understanding, or is that what he's trying to tell you?
That's what he's trying to tell me.
Okay.
When it got to a point after one of those times, he had pulled her back with the belt around her neck. He had pulled her over to the chair he was sitting in and told her to stand up. That's when she couldn't. She couldn't stand up.
Why couldn't she stand up?
She didn't. It looked like she didn't have control over her legs anymore. And I was concerned about what I was seeing. And he did stop at that point. But he stopped, but he told me, this is just another act. It's just another her trying to get us to stop beating on her. She's just pretending. So he held her for a little bit and he tried to get her to stand a couple more times. But she couldn't.
How long of a process did this entire beating and in the tub, how long of a process was this?
Almost the whole day.
Almost the whole day? Tell me what happened. I mean,
Well,
was she dead that day? And how do you know she was dead?
well, what happened was he was holding her and trying to get her to stand.
Mm-hmm.
And kept saying that she's faking, she's faking. And I think he finally realized that she's not really faking. She really can't stand. And he gave her some more medicine.
What kind of medicine?
Tylenol,
Okay.
one of those chew tabs.
For children?
For children, yeah.
Okay.
She had this terrible problem with liquid ibuprofen. She would see that little cup of orange liquid and she would scream and run, and there was no way you were getting that in her. And that was something he wanted to work on that day too. And I remember one of the times we were in the bathroom, he had told me to go get the ibuprofen and to bring the little container, and he poured some in, and she would scream, he would put her under the water until, she got to a point where she was grabbing for that cup.
Mm-hmm.
And to put it up to her mouth. And it wasn't always medicine, because once he got enough medicine into her, he started to reiterate it with water in there. He had given her the chewable Tylenol. And she was having problems chewing and swallowing it right. And I really think that was the point. He realized, she's not faking this. She can't be faking this. I sat down and I said, we have to call the police. We have to call 911. We have to get her to the hospital. Look at her. There's something wrong. And he said, no, we can't do that because we'll go to jail. So he had me sit on the couch and he brought her over to me. And I was holding her. And he was watching her and making sure she was still conscious and still breathing, and her heart was still beating. And there came a point where she stopped breathing. And he started doing CPR on her on the floor. And he is just only, I can't keep doing this on the chest compressions with the breathing because her heart's still beating. She's just not breathing. And he said, well, she's got to be choking on that Tylenol we just gave her.
Who said that?
He did.
Okay.
Royce. So he was sticking his finger down her throat, trying to find it, trying to see if it was really there. And he couldn't find it, and he had me try, and I couldn't find anything. And
When he would do that, and you did that, would she try to gag back? No.
no. And he eventually just had me sit on the couch and handed her to me. And I could just feel her going cold. And we had a heating pad on her because we thought she was so cold from the ice that she needed to be warmed up, but the heating pad would help. Wasn't helping. And she died in my arm. And she had stopped breathing. And her heart eventually stopped beating. And she had died in my arms. And everyone said we couldn't do anything because look at her, she's black and blue.
What did y'all do with Riley then?
Royce came over,
Royce came over? Okay.
picked her up, and went and laid her in the bathtub.
You laid her in the bathtub?
Did you let the water out, or was the water still in there?
No, there wasn't water in there.
There was not.
There was not. He laid her down there.
Did he know she had passed away? Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And he closed the curtain and came out and said that we need to clean up and get rid of the belts, get rid of the pillow, get rid of anything, the freezer pots, the ice packs, get rid of anything, and that we need to go to the store and get bleach and trash bags and
Why bleach? Was there blood?
no, there was no blood, but he wanted to scrub her down and with bleach and make sure there were no fingerprints on her.
Okay.
And so he had me get in his truck and we drove to the Walmart.
Both of you did? Okay.
These gruesome details are not merely about the atrocities inflicted on Riley, but they also expose the psychopathic mentality of this evil couple, something no sane parents could ever imagine committing. Despite the unbearable revelations, detectives need to stay composed to gather every detail that can help them fill in the gaps and close in on the dark truth.
Okay, so the day this came public about baby Grace, is that when he disposed of everything?
Actually, we didn't find out about it until a week after it started on the news.
Mm-hmm.
I made a habit not to watch the news. I didn't want to watch it Actually, how we found out about it was his mother sent his brother over to the house and brought up the MySpace webpage about it. And put everything in the car, or in the truck, I should say. Drove back home. And he put on the gloves, took everything into the bathroom, and kind of told me to, stay in the other room. He didn't want me to see what he was doing. But he poured bleach over her, scrubbed her down. He said he poured bleach down her throat, made sure she swallowed it. Because he said he didn't want our saliva to show up from when we were doing CPR on her. And he took her and got ready, and he called for my help, told me to put a pair of gloves on and to hold the trash bags open for him.
Now, is she still naked at this point?
Yeah, and I told him, you can't put her in there naked. You have to let me get her some clothes. But he asked me to hold open the garbage bag. And I held it open for him while he put her in there. And I couldn't look. I had to look away when he actually did it. He took and put her in there, in the container there. And he took it outside, took the box outside to the storage room, and he set it right there in the doorway, right next to Riley's bike.
How long did Riley stay in the container, in the trash bags, in the storage building?
A good while.
What's a good while?
At least a month or two.
How did she get from there to where she was discovered?
Well, he wanted to leave her in there longer. He wanted to just leave her there and let her decompose and leave it at that. But it was wrecking with my emotions. I was so upset.
Did you or Royce participate in any cover-up recently of the whereabouts of Riley?
Yeah. When he found out that she'd been found, he started fabricating the story. Originally we just told people Riley's staying with an uncle of mine that lives here in Texas, trying to protect her from Cheryl. And that's what we told. He told friends or coworkers. This all happened really, really fast after he
Hit the news.
it hit the news and he found out about it.
Well, I want to go back to Riley was in the box in the storage building for a month or two. Now, this would have occurred, what did we decide?
And,
June 24th?
July.
July 24th.
The end of July.
So it would have been October, or September, October. How did the body get moved? How did the crate get moved?
One night excuse me.
You need to take a break?
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
You want to walk around?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
I just,
Okay.
one night he decided that we needed to get rid of it. He really ideally wanted to keep it there, but it was starting to smell in the heat and everything else. And I mean, I was an emotional wreck because I knew my daughter is dead in that box in that storage shed right there.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided it would be better if we took and moved. Told me how to get to Galveston. Told me where to go. And when we came, he told me to turn off the car, turn off all the lights. He got his gloves on and went and grabbed her out of the back of the truck and tossed her over the side, and you could see her float.
Throughout the interrogation, Kimberly's demeanor doesn't go unnoticed. She appears remorseful, but it could be possibly due to her realization that she has been caught and eventually, now, has no way out. She allowed her daughter to endure immense pain simply out of fear of losing Royce. Meanwhile, this time has given Royce a chance to rethink his decision. The following day, Royce finally decides to step in to share his side of the story. However, the devastating details he is about to reveal will not only expose the monsters in human form, but will eventually leave detectives on a hunt to find whose version is the actual truth.
What else was it that you wanted to talk to us about?
The night beforehand,
The night beforehand, what?
there was an argument between me and Kim. I basically was giving Kim an ultimatum to fix the entire problem because I was sick and tired of going out public and Riley was running amok.
So when you're saying the night before, and you're talking about the night before Riley was killed? Is that what you're talking about?
The night before, I told Kim, look, I can't stand this anymore. I can't take it. And I'd rather just pack my bags and leave, and I'll give you the house, and I'll basically give you money every month, but I cannot deal with this situation.
What situation?
The situation with Riley always causing trouble when we go out in public, and then the whole custody issue with Cheryl. She was draining it down my neck, and my mom was basically on my case about, well, Riley needs discipline. I mean, I was basically getting it from everybody, even this realtor. I mean, he was telling me I should divorce Kim.
Okay. So let me clarify something. What you're saying is the night before what? The night before what, Royce?
That Tuesday before. Things.
What things, Royce?
Accident.
Dude, let me tell you something. You want to get this off your chest. I know you do. It's written all over your face, your demeanor. I mean, you're there.
Let me ask you something. What will happen to me? What charges will I come up on?
Right now, you're being charged with injury to a child and tampering with physical evidence. Okay? Is there a possibility that the charge can be raised on both you and Kimberly? Yes, the possibility is there. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
What's the charges on Kim?
Same thing as yours.
Identical to yours.
Y'all both have the same identical charges and the same bonds.
Same bond, same everything. She's in jail on the same exact thing you are.
But listen, there's always three sides to a story. There's yours, there's hers, and then there's the truth right down the middle. And accidents happen.
Royce, we know it was an accident. We know it. We know it was. You can tell us because we know already. Okay.
The Tuesday night before what happened, I basically gone to Kim, gave her the ultimatum. I was basically more leaning on just leaving. That was my goal. I was just going to leave. But she didn't want it, so I stuck around for her that night. I was like, all right, fine, I'll just go to bed. Next morning, woke up. I wasn't feeling so well, so I stayed home from work that day. And Kim and Riley woke up and they went out to do some errands. They came back. Next thing I know, I hear screaming.
What time of the day was this? Do you remember?
I was still in bed. I was groggy. I had just taken like NyQuil just to
Feel better.
feel better.
Yeah.
I was nauseated like hell that day. I mean, I couldn't. And I just stood in bed. And the rule that we made in the house is when Kim gets on the Riley or something, I'm not to be in the room because that way for Riley and Kim,
She
to
gets
grow that
respect from her
bond.
mom, sure.
And that's the way it's always been. And next thing I know, Kim, I'm hearing standing in the corner, you know, and I'm just leaving it at that, and I'm falling back in and out of sleep that day.
So she was trying to put her in what? Timeout, basically.
Mhm.
Inside the house there, when y'all say she would put her in the corner, in what room is that going to be? Is that going to be in the living
In
room?
her room.
In her bedroom?
And Riley's room.
In Riley's room? Okay.
Near the closet and the window, there's a corner.
Okay.
And usually I just put a chair there and make Riley sit there for about 5 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the case that Kim has is she sits her down in that chair or make her stand in that corner. And then as soon as Kim turns her back, she runs out. So, you know, after some time, Kim reverted to the spanking approach. And all that started helping.
It did start helping?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't have to do much, but one day when Cheryl called the week prior, I mean, for some reason, Riley heard Cheryl's voice and started yelling, "Grandma."
And for clarification, Cheryl is going to be Riley's natural father, Rob's mother.
Right.
Is that correct? So it's going to be
A lot
Kim's
of the
ex-mother-in-law.
problems we've had is because of Cheryl.
Okay.
The problems that you and Kim have had is because of Cheryl? Okay.
I mean, I couldn't stand these court dates. I mean, I couldn't pay for flights going back and forth to
You spend a lot of
Ohio.
money bringing her back and forth, didn't you?
And I've always been just tired. I've always been working and coming home and sleeping, coming home and sleeping. And that day I just didn't feel good. I just wanted to crawl up into the bed and just stay there. You know, I keep hearing all this yelling and I try covering up my head with the pillows and all that. And so basically I just go outside for a little bit and I come back in. And next thing I know, I'm hearing Royce. I go over there and perform CPR on her. And I start saying, look, I have a friend, well, let's take her to the ER. She wanted to do it, but she was scared. So I told her, look, I could take her to a friend's house and have the friend take her to the ER. But by the time the decision was made, it was too late.
What time was that?
I don't know.
I mean, was it afternoon, morning,
It was in the
night?
afternoon, evening.
Okay. But you never took Riley to the friend?
I was ready to,
Right.
about to, but I was trying my hardest with the CPR.
Is this friend of a paramedic or a policeman or a nurse? Or?
No, I was just going to take it to one of my friends and have them drive Riley to the ER.
Was she breathing? Or she stopped breathing?
She stopped breathing. I performed CPR, but when I got there, she wasn't breathing.
Where was this in the house?
The living room.
What did you do then?
I picked her up and I put her in the bathtub, and then I kind of just freaked out and then just waited around for a little bit, and I was contemplating calling the police at the time.
Mhm.
But
Did you and her discuss this or calling the police?
the thing is, I was afraid of what would happen. First off, at that time, there was a case that just happened where this mother left her daughter with her boyfriend, and then he went to jail. And then there was the other factor, I didn't want Kim getting into trouble. I couldn't take it.
You love Kim?
I love her.
You just about anything for her, wouldn't you?
I mean, last weekend I was ready to die for her. And I took the pills, but all they did was knock me up for the entire day.
So then what happened? After you put her in the tub and you contemplated calling the police and...
I kind of just had an episode and blacked out, and then later on, just went to Walmart. I was respecting Kim's wishes by giving her a proper barrel.
Okay. Okay. What did you buy at Walmart?
I don't remember.
Boy, you do remember.
She bought the container. I don't know. I know I got a chain because I was going to use the chain for my truck to take care of something on that.
Okay.
But
It's okay. It's all right.
You're doing a good job.
gloves and that, I can't remember what else.
Okay. And
I was a nervous wreck. I couldn't
I'm sure you were.
concentrate.
I'm sure you were. We can kind of go back to that, but after y'all left Walmart, what'd you do?
Went back to the house. I told her to go clean up Riley.
Did she clean her up? How'd she clean up Riley?
She went into the bathroom and just closed the door. I couldn't bear seeing it because I was going to puke.
Okay. So you don't know how she was cleaned per se, but how did she get dressed?
Kim picked out the clothes and put them on her. I helped. She just...
It's okay, man.
Picked her up and then put the bags on her.
Okay, you picked her up?
And let her put the bags around.
Okay. And when you did this, when you picked her up and she put the bags around her, were both of y'all wearing gloves?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then who tied the knot? Did you tie the knot?
I really don't. I can't remember.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then, do you remember how many bags she was put in? Because you know, obviously, we know how many bags there were there.
At first, I was thinking two, but everything was such a rush, I can't really remember.
Okay. It was at least two? Could have it been 4?
I don't know.
Okay.
It could have been.
Okay.
I can't remember because I tried blocking it out as best as I can.
Mm-hmm. Terrible sight, isn't it?
I couldn't stand looking at it.
Then how'd she get into the blue Foot Locker container?
The bags were already in the container.
Okay. So you put her in the bags that were already in the container, and then whoever tied the knots, and y'all closed the container. Is that correct? Okay. And then, did the container stay in the bathroom?
For a little while. And then, there was moments when I just was ready to call the police and just come search this house.
Sure.
Did you put anything else in the, or either of y'all put anything else in the box with her?
Not that I remember.
Any bricks or weights or anything like that?
No, I don't remember.
Well, you,
I think I drilled a little hole for water and that was it.
you remember where you drilled that hole?
No.
Well, what about the ready-mix concrete? How'd that get in there?
I really don't know. I mean, I know I had bought some before, but...
Okay. Okay.
That,
Royce, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. How long? Okay, so she stayed in the bathroom for a little while. What's a little while? Hours, minutes, days?
It was before Sunday. It was just an hour or two. That was it.
And then where'd the container go from there?
Into the storage, and then I basically told her, look, this is your mess. You need to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with the stress.
Okay.
And let her figure it out. That's where I left it from there.
Okay. And how long from the time that, did you put her in the storage? I mean, did you put the container in the storage room and close the door?
No, I couldn't because I can't even lift that heavy.
Okay.
My shoulder prevents me from lifting anything heavy.
I see. So who put her in the storage room?
Kim had to. It had the wheels on it.
Okay. And then how long did she stay there?
I don't remember. All I remember is I told Kim to figure out what to do.
Okay.
If the couple had been so fed up with Riley and couldn't stand her behavior, why didn't they just let her live with her grandmother? Instead, they just pointed out her every mistake, only to her and let her endure the immeasurable pain. Even after committing the unspeakable crime, Royce's demeanor shows no amount of remorse. Both suspects are merely concerned about saving themselves, attempting to throw each other under the bus. However, this harrowing mystery is on the verge of getting solved, as detectives uncover fate-sealing evidence that will ultimately bring the dark truth to light.
At what point did y'all take it out to a dirt road and try to bury it? How long from the time that she passed away until the time that y'all went out to dig the hole?
I think like the next night or so.
Okay.
And it's what she decided, and then I didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Okay.
So I basically just left it at that. And then let her think about it and wait and decide.
And then when did y'all come to Galveston? From that point?
About 2 or 3 weeks.
After the night of trying to dig the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where did y'all go?
She was driving,
Right?
and she just drove up.
Yeah, you remember the highway cameras?
Oh.
Yeah. She was driving, that's right. But where did y'all go?
I don't remember. I was passing out that night because I can't. After that whole incident, I just couldn't stand anything. So she just drove wherever and then parked it.
She just drove wherever and parked it? Okay. Do you know how baby Riley got into the water?
She told me to go get it out, and I took it out and dumped it into the water.
Now, I want to go back because I'm still confused about the time she stayed at your house. The length of time. You're saying not very long, but even in talking to your mother last night, even she confirmed that she had gone over there and that there had been conversation about the smell. And that was sometime after that.
The smell in the house. Before we had moved into the house, we had this bad smelling problem of ammonia in the house. And it just accumulated. It was making me sick. It was making Riley sick. It was making Kim sick. I mean, we were constantly always sick in that house.
Can you explain to me how baby Grace wound up with bleach in her?
When Kim
Or
was
Riley,
playing,
baby Riley?
she closed the door and I just left. I couldn't even stand it because I was going to puke.
Well, that doesn't answer my question. She had bleach inside of her body. Do you know how that got there?
Royce, come on. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know.
I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know. I'm telling you the tru I know that Kim got the bleach to clean her body with. And that's,
Shoot straight with me, please.
I am being straight with you. Basically, that day when we got back, Riley was already in the bathtub. Kim went into the bathroom to do what she was going to do. And I couldn't even stand it. My heart was pounding. I was nauseated. I couldn't stand it. I mean, I already had thought about taking a gun and just blowing my own brains out because of what had happened.
What was the purpose of the bleach?
She wanted the bleach to basically clean the body with.
Despite attempting to minimize his role in this unthinkable crime, Royce had already dug a deep hole for himself, one that only deepened with each revelation. During the investigation, detectives decided to question Royce's stepmother, and she heard a disturbing detail. She revealed that Royce's father used to discipline him in a similar manner, which often involved, and it made it evident that Royce had unknowingly passed on his own trauma. Furthermore, after obtaining the search warrant for his computers, detectives uncovered harrowing details. The search history primarily included queries such as places to bury someone, how to decompose a body, and many other related topics. After the incident, Royce attempted to take his own life and left behind a note saying, "My wife is innocent of the sins that I committed," trying to take all the blame on himself. However, despite his efforts, both faced the grim consequences of their vicious actions. Also, the autopsy revealed that Riley's neck had suffered multiple hyperflexions, and her brain appeared pink, indicating she had suffered a subdural hemorrhage. In addition to this, she had also received 3 skull fractures. The place that was meant to be a haven for Riley tragically became the one where she endured unbearable pain and eventually lost her life at the hands of her horrible parents. The couple was arrested on charges of injuring a child and tampering with evidence. After years of unfathomable pain, all the people involved in this heart-wrenching case finally found closure. In May of 2009, Kimberly was found guilty of capital murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. On November 6, 2009, Royce ultimately faced the same fate, as he was also convicted of capital murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.